too big to the rest of the world. We need to be sure that the ships can flow in and out of there, not just for oil and gas, but fertilizer and other commodities as well.
All right, now, excuse me, let's get a little bit off the Iran war because we do got a bit of a problem here. This was crazy. So what was it? VA is now allowed to redraw their their congressional map, and is overly going to favor the Democrats, aka it does seem like Virginia is lost, as they've been saying all over X.
We have some breaking news tonight, as CNN can now project that Virginia voters have approved a Democratic plan to dramatically redraw the state's congressional map.
Oh, guys, and if you've got any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements, feel free to go ahead and super chat it in to support the show, or just send a gift or a Venmo. Appreciate the support. But please, super chat. Please double tap that screen and like the video, because that's free. I mean, that's easy. So just double tap that screen. Appreciate the support.
92% of the results are in, with just over 51% voting yes on the ballot measure. Now, if this map is enacted, it means Democrats could win 10 out of the state's 11 congressional districts, which would boost the party at large in the fight for control of Congress. Harrington is here to join us. And Harry, obviously, there were a lot of questions of how this would go tonight. Tell us what we're seeing in these numbers so far.
Yeah, I would just say, look, the yes side won. Yes, they are probably going to end up lower than the percentage that Kamala Harris won in terms of the margin. But you know what? A win is a win is a win. And this means a lot for Virginia. And I will just note, just look at this. They are basically going to gerrymander this state rotten. They are basically going to lock Republicans out of power in a state where Donald Trump got 46% of the vote back in 2024. House seats Republicans in Virginia are only going to really end up with 9%. That is quite the imbalance that's going on here, right? Of course, this is part of a larger national picture as well in terms of redistricting. And this, to me, is what is so interesting, right? Oh, we've had all this redistricting, right? It started in Texas. Then it was California. We've done Ohio. We've done North Carolina. We've done Utah. But heading into tonight, pre-Virginia results, the net gain from this mid-decade redistricting was really 0 seats, neither side gaining. But now is where we are right now with the Virginia measure passing. Democrats jump out ahead. They are the ones leading in mid-decade redistricting, leading right now by 4 seats on the strength of that yes vote, however thin that margin actually is.
So, Harry, I mean, obviously, Senator Warren was just talking about 6 months from now, the midterm elections. What could this mean for the fight for who controls Congress here?
Bro, and I hate to hear this. I was even mad when Abigail Spanberger won because, and let's be real, she won because the Republicans couldn't sell how to fix affordability correctly, nor did they really try in Virginia. But that's why she won on the topic of affordability. And then when she gets in there, she makes things more unaffordable, which is absolutely hilarious. And then not only now she's making things more unaffordable, but now the Dems are pretty much locking down Virginia. And here's the thing, guys, none of this would have happened if Trump would have stuck to the MAGA agenda, the Make America Great Again agenda, the American First agenda. That's all you have to stick to, and we would not be dealing with this right now. But we are, because you guys want war with Iran. I hope you're happy. I hope war with Iran is worth it, guys. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, if you know anything about the House of Representatives, and you're down in Washington, D.C., so you know a heck of a lot more than I do, I would just say this. The power right now, it's so tight, right? Every vote is so tight in the U.S. House of Representatives. So you just take a look here, and this gives you the math of why this vote was so important. If you talk about the margin of the GOP majority in the House post the 2024 election, it was 2 seats, 2 seats. That's how many seats they could lose on a vote before losing the majority. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about Democrats gaining 1, 2, 3, 4 seats, 4 seats in Virginia. The simple math here is 4 is greater than 2. Without Democrats needing to pick up any more seats, this would eliminate the Republican majority and instill a Democratic majority because the margins are so tight.
Look at this. I ain't never seen this lady smile so hard in my life, bro. Nah, she's too happy. Nah. I ain't never seen this lady smile this hard, bro. Usually she has a stone cold face. Her ass is smiling ear to ear. Because they know this is a win. They know the blue wave is most likely coming. And we're all cooked. Why? Because of war with Iran. And because for some reason, Republicans are just sold on this instead of making things more affordable for everyday American. But it is what it is. And like I said, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. So trust me, I hate to hear this as much as you guys. But there's a lot of things we could have been focusing on instead of getting into it with Iran. over nuclear capabilities that honestly, if we'd have just stayed in the JCPOA, we wouldn't have to deal with right now. If honestly we'd have just got into the deal with them during negotiations when they said they were willing to give up their enrichment and have it watered down instead of bombing them, we wouldn't be dealing with that. But here we are.
This vote in Virginia means so very much, and that's why all that money was spent on it. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, a ton of money. Harry, thank you for doing that math for us.
I know, it's very hard.
It is, bro. This is outright shady. Like, bro, the Democrats are literally in Virginia right now, like, just laughing it up. Maniacally.
Very hard.
This is why we keep you around.
That's right.
Harry Enton, thank you for that. For more on this, my political sources are here tonight. Jermichael, what's your assessment of what's happening?
I mean, look, I'm not happy about this. What we're seeing is a gradual destruction of institutions in our country. So what happens when you create an atmosphere and an environment where compromise no longer exists? Yeah, maybe this is good for Democrats today, but is it good for the long run? Probably not. For 4 years, there was an argument.
Oh, yeah, because
for my
they're going to lose that moral high ground. And then when Republicans do it, I mean, Dems can't say nothing. But for now, they're just doing it because it all works in their favor. And I mean, I'm be real with you, the Dems, they more vicious than the Republicans. I mean, they go for it every trip. The Republicans hesitate to take power. The Dems, oh boy, they snatch that shit, bro. I'm be real with you, yo. Y'all Dems is savages sometimes. I'm talking about your politicians, not the voters. The voters is cool, but the politicians, oh, they be quick to snatch power, bro.
And on the other side about democracy. Well, democracy falling in darkness. Well, how in the hell is this preserving democracy? And look, I'm not saying that one side over the other doesn't gerrymander. Hell, they all gerrymander. It's just not a good thing at all. The American people don't benefit from this. And as someone who resides in Virginia, where you have 40+% of the state that voted for the current president, rather, leaving only one Republican congressional seat seems to be in force of democracy and protecting the Constitution and the preservation of these great ideals. I would think not.
Well, I mean, what do you say to that? Because that was a question we asked a lot of Democrats once they launched their own redistricting efforts after we saw what happened in Texas. But a lot of them argued to us was, well, if the Republicans are doing it, we're also going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the real problem here is that Republicans launched a mid-decade redistricting project in Texas. Virginia came up with its results, but Florida is likely to redistrict in the next couple of days. In fact, they held off for the vote, I think, for political reasons, but they are likely to redistrict. So at the end of the day, I think Democrats and Republicans will roughly match out to be equal. We don't know what Florida will do. I think maybe
Florida's been, bro, Republicans been losing seats in Florida. Bro, Trump's district, the district that Mar-a-Lago's in, ran by a Democrat. Now it is. So I'm sorry, but it is not looking good for Republicans right now. And they just seem to be selling themselves out further, like, bro, just further and further to Israel. I think it might just be too late, guys. It really might be too late for them. For both sides. But at least the Dems are taking a smart position and trying to have an anti-Israel position.
they'll be concerned that redistricting could end up, they could end up losing some of those seats because there could be such a great wave. But I think the truth is that Democrats have supported a nationwide ban on partisan gerrymandering. Republicans have opposed that. This was a part of legislation they tried to pass in the last cycle. Republicans have opposed that. I believe that we should have a nationwide ban on partisan gerrymandering. The real thing that set this all up was Donald Trump called into Texas and asked them, not by anyone voting, but just asked the legislature to change. And in California and Virginia, at least they asked the voters to wait.
Here's the thing. It'd have been a smart strategy to get Texas to redistrict, for the midterms. I get the strategy is duplicitous as it is. But when you start this war and then ruin your popularity, yeah, this is all going to work against you.
And this is very different than what happened in Texas. Voters have said they would like to move forward on this because they recognize the stakes with Trump ending accountability through gerrymandering mid-decade.
Scott, what's your take?
Virginia literally had the fairest maps in the nation. They had a 6-5 map, 6 Democrats, 5 Republicans. In terms of proportional representation, they had the fairest map in the nation that was drawn, by the way, by an independent commission that the voters asked for just a few years ago. Now they will have the least fair maps in the nation. And I'm not surprised that the yes vote won. They had all the money and all.
Hey, shout out to my man Sid. He says happy Earth Day. I didn't even know that. Well, shoot, happy Earth Day. And happy late 420, Sid. I know how you get down.
lies. And sometimes in politics, when you got those two things, you can put something over the line. Even something as egregious as this whole thing has driven Spamberger's approval ratings down into the toilet. She lied to the people of Virginia. They had to write a ballot question that was a joke.
She sure did, man. On affordability, oh my God, bro. What she did was so fucked up. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was laughing, but my heart was breaking for the people of Virginia. Because I'm like, y'all literally voted this lady on affordability, and she made things more unaffordable. I was like, that's fucked up. Like, she should go to jail for fraud for that. But hey, I mean, a lot of politicians would be going to jail then, right?
Drew maps that were a joke. Now you're going to have huge chunks of rural Virginia represented by 5 or 6 Democrats who all live in Northern Virginia within about 15 miles of each other. It's a complete joke. Everybody knows it. And there's a reason that all these national Democrats and all their money came into Virginia because, you know, they don't really care about the people of Virginia. They just care about power.
I mean, if we could just put that new map back, Nira, I want you to respond to that. But if we could just put that new map back up, I mean, that's back up that you can see, obviously, what the proposed districts that were on this ballot look like.
I mean, here's the thing. Unlike in Texas and other states, in Texas and Florida, they are not putting this up to the voters, right? Republicans, I don't know, they have a lot of money in their coffers. As far as I can see, the RNC has a lot more money than Democrats.
Who spent
a lot of them?
I mean, they got money, but they ain't got no good message no more. Bro, they're talking about we should go ahead and take this war with Iran and like take the higher gas prices and the higher inflations. And they said we should be grateful because Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. AKA letting us know that they don't have a nuclear weapon and, well, nor do they have a nuclear weapons program. So basically, we're just accepting all this for no reason. And that's the message. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but all the money in the world cannot make that message sellable.
But you know what the difference is?
They may not have spent more because you know you're going to lose. Because the actual issue is, here's what motivated people in Virginia. The fact is that because Donald Trump decided to do a mid-decade redistrict in Texas, people believed that in order to level the playing field, you needed to ensure that Virginia acted.
But you know what the difference is?
Ridiculous is
what's
the
one
one
thing
thing. Just
the
to say,
difference is with Texas.
Neither one of you said a word about Texas.
Well, that's not true. I actually talked a lot about Texas,
where was
and I wasn't happy about that. But let me just say this: the difference is Democrats have a number of seats still in the state of Texas. Now we can disagree on whether this made sense morally, ethically. That's a fair point. But in Virginia, you're eliminating all but one.
They took 5
all but one. That's basic math. How's that at all fair? How's that fair?
You didn't give Texans
how's
the right
that fair?
to vote. You didn't put it up to a ballot proposition.
The question is, but how is it fair in Virginia?
The legislature,
Republicans with one. Would you be okay if we left Democrats with one congressional seat?
You know what I would be okay with? I would be okay with a ban on.
I mean, bro, they be calling us fascist dictators at this point. But I mean, when they do it, though, it's saving democracy. When we do it, oh, it's fascism. Like, okay.
Partisan gerrymandering across the country. And I wish you guys had supported that.
When the president, I mean, so clearly wanted this to happen in Texas that it did set off this kind of arms race.
Of course it is.
And now it's resulted in this.
That's my initial point. This is not good for the country. Like, I'm a conservative. Hell yes, I want my side to do well. I strongly believe.
Man, shout out to my man Noah Joyner. He says politicians have forgotten that they're public servants. Replace them and put them in common man. Yeah, replace them and put them in common man that understands that and will work on improving the life of the people. I mean, yeah, bro, they go there saying that they're for the people, but then they all of a sudden are for, well, the lobbyists, the corporations that don't care about us whatsoever. So no, you ain't lying about that. And I mean, that's on both sides, sadly. That is on both sides. Like, let's be real. A lot of politicians are selling out their own people for data centers. Data centers that ain't bringing that much jobs in. That's raising people's electric bills. And it's noisy. Like, no benefits. And then here's the thing. Here's the thing. I honestly feel like we put the cart before the horse when it came to the data centers, because we probably should have had them generating their own energy before we just start propping them up all over America, draining on the power of the American people. Like, probably should have been done first.
Believe in my principles, and I presume Nira here cares a lot about her side, and she wants to see Democrats do well. But how in the hell is this good for democracy when both sides believe there is no interest in incentivizing on anything? We don't have to compromise. We don't have to figure it out. We don't have to work things out, because you know what? We'll have one red state, one blue state. There will be no purple states. There will be no party in the middle. How does that move things forward when you look at the things that this country is currently struggling with on the economic front, the education front, healthcare? You have China, our greatest adversary, that are moving leaps and bounds ahead, and we can't even govern ourselves appropriately. This should make any person in this country happy about where we are.
You know,
It's
I agree. I just think the way to have dealt with this is to have a ban on gerrymandering in any of these states. Mid-decade redistricting is really something has really happened very.
Guys, let's get more people in the conversation by double tapping that screen and liking the video, guys. Appreciate the support, but let's get more people in here by double tapping that screen or smashing the like button, depending on how you're watching.
Rarely. North Carolina did a few years ago, but we should really most people are used to decennial. Most states are used to it, like doing it every decade. We should do it, and we should actually abandon all this. And I wish Republicans had joined the Democrats.
Scott, if you were a member of Congress, would you vote to ban gerrymandering?
Well, I actually am rather protective of the states making these decisions.
That's a no.
I don't have.
Come on.
I don't really have a problem with states making decisions about this. What I have a problem with in this case, look, Texas did what they did. They had a right to do it. Virginia did what they did. What I have a problem with in Virginia is you had a fair map, and you also had an independent commission draw it, and you also had the new governor, tell the people of Virginia during her campaign she wasn't going to do it. So this whole thing was built on lies, and the ballot question, if you read it, was a total joke. You showed the map of the districts. They're a complete joke. And so I think what they've done is they basically disenfranchised.
All right, let's get over to the Ron Ward updates here. Video just came.